talk about Rasa on some of the roundtables, but Rasa is amazing. And I fell in love with Rasa because I had just gone to like an investment, panel, and Rasa was on the panel, and I won't take away her story because she's got an amazing story of coming to the US, but she had said something that was so incredible to me. And she said, you just need to fall in love with getting curious about money. And I had never heard anyone put it that way, because it's always been like, these are the financials, and this is what you got to do for forecasts. And it's always been like the bane of my existence. I just don't, So I was like, I need to talk to this woman. And at that point, I was just starting my brand, Ready, Set, Jet. We had a very intentional focus on creating change through beauty and focusing on women and focusing on changing the entire investment narrative around women supporting women, women investing in women, and giving women more opportunities. And Rasa was one of my first investors. So I'm so grateful to Rasa for that. And she has gone on to become an incredible, incredible force in, executive coaching, and especially around this topic of money. And I know there's so many of us here that run our own businesses, that are looking to scale their own businesses, that are also learning, wanting to raise their next round. And Rasa's got the secret sauce on having that money mindset to go out there. So it is with my heart and with all my love and with my just absolute pleasure to introduce you guys to Rasa DiSalvo.
Oh, thank you, Shalini, and thank you, Midori, both of you, for having me. What an honor today. So welcome all of you. First of all, before we get going, put in the chat maybe a little bit like where you are and what is your intention for joining today, because that will be easier for me as I go through the presentation, give live examples, right? Because the different thoughts and things will show up, whether you're planning on leaving your current work and starting something new, whether you're planning on raising around, or whether you're planning on offering services and creating high-paying clients. So drop in the chat, like, what is my intention? Or like, I am raising, I am selling services. I have familiar faces. Hi, Barbara. So just drop in the chat, like, what's your intention for today? I like to start every gathering that I lead with intention. So what is your intention today? What brought you today that you're looking to get the answer to or generate clarity for? Yeah, intention to think even bigger. Beautiful. Thank you, Midori. Who else? Leveling up my money mindset and thinking bigger. Beautiful. Raising my money vibe. I came from generations rural poverty and I'm actively integrating. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Dr. Luna. I come from very humble beginnings as well, so I'll share a little bit of my story. Beautiful. Releasing blocks and limiting beliefs. Yes, yes, yes. Kristen said, oh, beautiful. Growing revenue, amazing, beautiful. Intention to build wealth through my mantras, letting go of limiting fears based through around money. Beautiful. So can you see how like we have different intentions, yet all of it touches money, because money is such a big part of our lives, and it shows up everywhere. Whether I go to groceries, I'm going to shop online, I want to book this retreat, I want to have that appointment, I'm going to this networking event. The money mindset interweaves with all pieces of our life. So beautiful. So thank you. What is it? Val, going to shift in my business, doing a shift in my business, in addition to engaging big contracts with a single person group, offering lower cost and engagements to bigger audiences. Beautiful. So you'll see how different things come up. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Beautiful. So I'm gonna start in a minute, and so today we'll cover what is money mindset, how it's showing up in your business. What are those invisible blocks that are there that we don't even know that they're there? I'll share how that it showed up in my life, and then how to remove them and pass through them and make powerful steps to make sure that you're charging with the new expanded ability to receive. right? So beautiful. But before we go in, let me share a little bit about my story. I am originally from Lithuania, and since we actually, as exiting Soviet Union around the age I was like 8, had this dream and vision to one day come to United States. I saw like a me living by the beach in California, didn't even know where California was on the map, but had this vision. So I used to I would go to an internet cafe because we didn't have internet or a computer or email address, any of that. So I would, anybody remembers those days when there's no internet? I'm like, I think we're the last generation, like remembering before, like the mobile, before smartphone, internet. So kind of beautiful to have that. So I put my parents in the green card lottery. That's the lottery that would give you a permission to come and live in the United States. And they just give out literally like lottery to like, I think 50,000 people each year. So I would enter my parents. They probably didn't know that I was doing it, you know, like hoping like, this is going to be my path. This is how I'm going to go to United States. Luckily, I never received that green card lottery, because what life, the universe had in store for me was even more beautiful. At the age of 17, I learned about this coach who was looking for volleyball players. And I was like, well, I'm a volleyball player, right? Like my coach told about it at the end of the practice. And I remember all my teammates like kind of giggled and ran away to the locker. And I was like, oh my God, this is my path. So long story short, I ended up like having to like win the Lithuanian national competition to go to like represent my country in Canada. He came, like saw me, like offered me a scholarship, and I had to learn English in 6 months, which like I studied like 46 hours a day for 6 months and passed the what SAT exam, and at the age of 18, I landed at the O'Hare airport with 2 duffel bags and $100 in my hands, feeling wealthier than ever before, because I've never had this much money in my hands before. And I remember thinking, if I can get here, I can get anywhere. And back then, what I realized that I later learned in a lot of personal development and the philosophy books from like really, really like, you know, different cultures, the actually process of creation, process of manifestation, and starts with the burning desire, with an aligned vibration and an inspired action. But that was the first time for me when I really clicked, like if you have a burning desire, like there are ways and there's forces that will support you, because there's multiple beautiful synchronicities, we call them coincidences, that led for that to actually actualize. So fast forward, I really wanted to study psychology, but I didn't know if I could be able to get a green card or make money doing that. So I was like, finance it is. I know numbers. I can do numbers. So I chose finance. And the minute I got a job and stepped into a cubicle with the computer, I realized, oh my God, I made a mistake. And but I needed a green card, so I kept like busting my butt. I was climbing career ladder, but always feeling that I was not in my field. And I kept looking for ways of how to get out of this field and start something new. Maybe I was like thinking, maybe I could be like a school psychologist, a cool school counselor. I studied for that. I was like doing all the constantly coming up with plans, but never taking a step towards. And 15 years in, I continued to climb career ladders, now on the path to the partner, and like, yet with this feeling I'm not in my own lane, and keep waiting for more clarity, more, I don't know, opportunity, or really what I was really hoping for, something to come and save me. That someone like, I don't know, maybe someone would come in and be like, offer me this awesome like opportunity that had all of the, anybody else like had that where you're like just waiting or hoping, right? And what I realized, nobody's coming. After 15 years, nobody's coming. I am the one that I was waiting for. And when I was thinking I needed more clarity, more tactics, more strategy, that was none of that. It was my money mindset that was getting in the way. because I was too scared to leave the security of the paycheck. And I did not know I had money problems back then, because I'm like, I'm a executive, I'm earning high salary, I'm no problem earning, no problem sending, I have no problem sending like really, really large invoices to my clients. So I had no, like, oh, no, that's not me. Yet when I start thinking about starting my own business and charging clients the high fees for what I would love to charge, like there's tightness come. Anybody's familiar with your, like, think about it, like if you want to check if you have money stuff going on, start studying your business, okay? Because all of them will rush coming through. Right? So that's when I really dove in to understand like what it is, what is money mindset, what is, because I was already in the money field and dealing that, and I knew the tactics of it, but I'm like, there is more, because there's so many books around money, how to raise money, how to create wealth. So why don't we all are rich and healthy, right? Because there's the same ton of books around how to be healthy and vibrant in your body. And the reason I learned that, because the money is both the tactical side and the mindset side, right? So the tactical side is like 20% and the mindset is 80. If my mindset is around like, oh, I'll kind of avoid this, I'm like, that's not for me, or like, you will never get to the tactical side. But once we take care of the mindset side, tactics are like easy. I've seen that with my clients again and again and again, and I've done that for myself, right? Once I've unlocked, I faced what it was, what is coming up, like I've made a powerful decision, like, this is it. I'm going to do what I've been called to do my whole life and step into the personal development space where I could support people with their mindset, with their energetics, so that they can create the results that they truly desire in their life and in their business. And so once I really worked through mine, like I was able to leave my corporate career and replace that income, doing what I absolutely love, working half of the time, working with the most amazing, incredible people and clients, and help others to do that for themselves. So that's why I'm so passionate about this work. It's not the only thing that I do, but it's actually critical pillar or of everything that I do in my coaching field with my clients. So let's then begin. I'm so excited to share about the money mindset, the blocks that is, and how to remove them so that you can free to think bigger, to grow bigger, to have that freedom that you desire, grow those revenues, or whatever the things that are in your like next step of expansion, right? So you guys ready to dive in? Okay, awesome. So let me share. Okay, beautiful. Can you guys see? Can you see? It's like split. Beautiful. Awesome. So I think we already did a few. Okay, so who is this really workshop? What do we, if you're stuck at certain income and not able to break through, like sometimes, right, we feel like it, or if we just launched the business and wanted to generate more clients, if we're generating clients but not charging enough, or if we're struggling to create high-paying clients consistently, like, so no matter where, or other intentions that you guys shared already, you're in the right place, right? This is where we're going to dive in. Everybody remember your intention. What is my intention? What is one thing that I'm taking away from today, right? Why did I came? Did I came more clarity? Did I bust the blocks? Like, write it all down, because what is intention? It's focus attention. And when we focus our attention on that thing, it already starts to shift. So we'll cover today how money mindset works, how it's been getting in the way, how to pass those invisible blocks, and how to take abundant actions. And at the end, I'll love to save some time for some Q&A and anything that's specific things that are coming up for you. Beautiful, already shared a little bit about myself. So first, let's generate some clarity, okay? And I want you to take a piece of paper and write down, because we cannot talk about money in general unless we have a specific result that we seek. It's much easier. I can talk generically like, oh yeah, that's good. And then I come up with I wanted to make $1 million this year, or I want to bust the next income level. And all of a sudden, like, it becomes real. So what I want you to now decide on the number of clients, money, bookings, whatever the metric that you are seeking, you want to create. And I would encourage to just stretch a little bit. What would it be like the best month yet? If I reach this, or the best year? And then decide the length of time that feels fun to play with. It could be by the end of the month. It could be in another month. It could be by the end of the year, right? It could be by the end of whatever that is, the time that feels like really good. So write it down. Again, once we write it down, we'll already bring it from the etheric to a 2D reality. It's already actualizing. You're already taking steps, right? So everybody has that? Now I'd like to think, what kind of clients would you love? Right? If you're raising money, what kind of investors would I love? If you're creating a community, what kind of community members do I want, right? They're easy to work with, they pay in full, they show up on time, they're decisive, they take action. I remember when I was doing my coaching certification, they spent so much money around, like, here's a money conversation and all of this, and they were training us and really good stuff. And I remember thinking, you know what, I'd love to not have these conversations with my clients. I'd like for my clients just to be like, where do I pay you? I can't wait, right? And so I like really cultivated who is my person who I wanted to work with. Everybody has that? So now, remember, the first is like this burning desire, right? My vision. Second part is my vibration. So, are you being your dream client? Because we don't attract what we want, we attract what we are being. So embody her or him now. And what I mean by that, if I want my clients to be like, where do I send the money? Then when I'm hiring a coach, a consultant, like anybody that's supporting in your field, like I want to emanate that same energy where I'm like, yes, I'll pay in front, I'll pay for extra 2 months, right? You want to emanate that abundant energy yourself, because we attract what we are being, not what we want. So notice, where could I have more abundance relationship as I am hiring, or on, like, how am I treating my people that work for me, right? That could be my VA, that could be my partner, that could be anything, right? So we want to emanate that of what we desire to create. Effortless, easy, abundance. I'm just a vessel of through which money is flowing. Okay, so vision, vibration. So when we wanted to embody that vibration, guess the biggest thing that gets in the way? Our money mindset. So let's understand what it is. And we each have a money mindset. And it's actually set at a very early age. At the age when we are between 7 and 11, it's already fully formed. Money mindset governs how much good we allow in our life and business, and doesn't only includes money, it includes the health and well-being. It includes the depth and fulfillment of our relationships. It dictates what we do with our time and talent and how we earn money. My mind was like, oh, I can make money if I do finance. But if I do things that I'm really naturally good, is working with people, supporting, like igniting, empowering them, shifting and helping them with the transformation, that part for me, like, oh, okay, I don't think I can make as much money, right? Like if I spend an hour cranking out Excel sheet, I can charge $500. But if I like in a conversation with a person, for some reason that like felt like, ooh, I don't know if I could charge $500 for that, right? So I had some like things that like was very tied up into what I'm doing, right? So your money mindset will determine how much health and well-being, relationships, work, time, money, freedom that you will allow to receive in your life. the best probably example is the money mindset works like a thermostat, right? If it's set at a certain level, it's my house, like say, I like it warmer, it's like 71, right? If it's starting to get higher than that, it finds a way to shut it off, to get to the level that it's used and familiar. That's why even when we go through a career, maybe if you've experienced it, like I'm like getting promotions and things, but I'm still feeling in that same level of like of my peers. I feel like I'm always like, I'm kind of like on the lower end of my peers, or like I'm always like feel like not enough. I'm always feel like I have to like save it or like kind of restrict myself, right? So that the way we feel around money ends up not really shifting much. And that's our money mindset, that it's set at a certain level that stays with us for a long time, unless we actively start to look into it, notice, and shift as a result. And so what is the key thing that gets in the way is the poor money mindset. So what is it? Passing over opportunities repeatedly. For example, I might say, when we just moved to this beautiful community that we live, the properties are like starts, I think, at the million or plus if you're far from the water, you know? And so when my husband and I moved in, we're like, oh, we can't afford this, right? So when you say I can't afford it, what we do, I cut off my mind to think about ways how to create it. I just shut off the what I'm passing over is an opportunity to grow and expand with beyond my current resources and abilities. Do you see that? Can you catch that? Like I just shut off an opportunity to grow versus an expansive and abundant mindset would ask a question, how can I afford it? I want you to write now, instead of I can afford it, how can I afford it? When I ask, how can I afford it? I start to like, well, maybe we can have work that has commission piece on it. Maybe I can do independent. Maybe we could do this, right? Like, so there's different parts of my brain's turn on, and my mind is now open to receiving different information how to do it. So this is oftentimes done for kids. We say it because we know if I say like we can't afford it, they cannot argue with that, and that's kind of end of conversation, move on, right? So parents do that to the kids. So be actually pay attention. I'm like really watching what I say to my kids because I know when they're like 7 and 9. So I'm like, oh my God, their money mindset is forming right now. I need to be like really thoughtful, right? Because when an example, my son wanted like a Nintendo like a year ago or so, and I like almost caught myself like that's expensive or something like that, just so we don't have to deal with it. And I'm like, oh, how can you afford it? And he was like, well, maybe I could do a lemonade stand. I'm like, okay, well, how many lemonades would you need to sell? And he's like, oh, maybe like if I had a cookie, I can actually charge more. So his mind started going, and he's now excited about this lemonade stand, and he's coming up with all kind of ways. But can you see like that goes like expansive versus like shut down, right? So but if we're been conditioned like, nah, not for us, we don't buy this brand, we don't go on this vacation, we don't do it, it shuts down the way of thinking like, how could I? Right? So that's poor mindset, and it lowers our vibration. So now, let's say if I have these things going on in my business, but I want that client that pays on time, that shows up, that loves working with you, my vibrational field is not matching. I'm not resonating at the same frequency. And and this relationship to money lives actually in subconscious. And subconscious, you've probably seen a version of this slide before, right? With our conscious mind, it's our logic. That's actually where all the tactics around money lives, right? So yes, we can crank out an Excel sheet, set up an investment stuff. But if all of underneath, and I have beliefs, some protective reactions, I have emotions or fears that associated with money that came, sometimes it's not even ours, it's our parents, right? Because our mindset forms based on our parents' beliefs around money at the age of 7 to 9. But by the way, our parents might feel a lot more abundant right now, but back then when we're little and they're like growing and doing, like they're probably in the tightest money situation as well. So we're catching this relationship to money at exactly the tightest time, right? And then no wonder this carries from generation to generation. And so if you wanted to like, if it feels like, well, if I logically think about money, like I understand it, like your subconscious mind is so fast. It is like 20,000 plus times faster than your conscious mind. So it makes decisions before you. That's why we don't catch them. That's why these are invisible money blocks, because we don't catch them. We don't even know, because so quickly make decision and you're like, tell the story, make a decision. You're like, yeah, I'm going to wait on that. You know what? I think I need more experience to go for that next level, right? So because it's in the subconscious, it acts so quickly and so blocks the even ability to make tactical steps. So I want you to now take a quick assessment. If you think about your bank account, your wealth in life, in your business, just like overall, and if you had to like rate it on the scale of 1 to 10, how would it feel? 1 to 10, without judging, just like really honestly, like, yeah, it feels like a 7, I don't know. Or like, I'm at 10. And 10, by the way, does not mean like the zeros after in your bank account, because it's the reality is one, but how I feel about money is even more important. So I want you to like think about it, how I feel about my current money situation. Do I feel like good? I feel like I am able to, I have resources that allows me to do the things that are important to me, and I enjoy making, enjoy spending, enjoy sharing my money for the causes myself and activities and things that are important and matter to me. That's a 10, right? I feel really good about it. That would be a 10. So what is it? Write it down. Because no matter what it is, unless it's a 10, then congratulations, you're good, and you're probably teaching it with me. What is it? You can share the chat, or you can just be like, okay, this is what it is. Let me see. Can I see it? 4. Okay, beautiful. See, just to tune in, like how it feels, right? And oftentimes, by the way, I work with people who are like millionaires and like close to billionaires, and they have money mindset that is also like, they would say like, I feel 7. Because now I feel like I need to keep working, or I'm afraid of losing it. Or I mean, like I have another client, they're like, they have a large corporation, and yeah, beautiful, 7, awesome. So there's like plenty of money, and the way she feels about money is awful. It's like 4. And I'm like, right, that's my reality, and my relationship does not compute, because it's always been, money was always a tool to manipulate and control. So she has really unhealthy relationship, right? So the amount, while it can slightly correlate, does not need to be correlated to how I feel about money, right? So take a temperature, and the good news, it's possible to reprogram it. And you're already starting to do this now. Because when we start noticing and we start paying attention on the thing, it already starts to shift. I always forget what the name of that principle, but once we pay attention, we start observing something. It's in quantum physics. Once the attention is placed on the thing, it's already starting to shift. So let's really dive into the major blocks that tend to hijack your success. And we're not going to have a chance to go through all of them, but I wanted to focus on the 2 or 3. And if you want to have a training on all of them, I can share with the group as well after. But let's first dive in. As you see, there's like lack of negative beliefs around money, and we'll dive into that, focusing what's missing, fear of loss, there's not enough, living in a get mindset, lack of deserving, harboring resentment, clutter, or chaos. And there are some other wounds around money that we tend to from kind of our upbringing. So let's focus on the few, and we'll dive in and see how that shows up in your life. So Now, I want you to take a piece of paper and write down all the beliefs or opinions about money. Aim for at least 5. And if you think like, oh, I don't really have one, you can tune in what your parents' beliefs are. Because chances are, some of them are very still active. I just had one client that we were working with, and she was like, oh, I have this and this is good. But all of a sudden, like, oh, but women did not deal with money. It's not for women. It was something that my mom did not have access to. So I feel like I can't, that's not my field that I can pay attention to. You can share a few that I've noticed are common, but write down a few that for yourself. And as you're writing, I'll share some. Sometimes it's more money, more problems. You have to work hard to make money. Money doesn't come easy. Raising money is hard. It takes money to raise money. Rich people are XYZ. Right? There's a saying of was it harder to get a rich person through it's easier to get a camel through like a needle's eye than the rich person to heaven or something like that. Right? So I'm like, if you have money, you're like a terrible person already, right? If you've been told that for your whole childhood, you're like, your subconsciously will want to dissociate with the wealth. Subconsciously, remember how fast it works? It will just resist without you even realizing it. I had this one: to be successful, I have to sacrifice my time with my family. But could be good ones. Could be money, security, freedom, power. And guess what? If money is my primary source of security, freedom, or power, then I will never feel secure. Because if I don't have money, I don't feel secure. And I have a lot of money, I don't feel secure because I can lose it anytime. Money is temporary. Right? So can you see how, like, if I have associated certain things with an emotion, then I constantly chase that emotion through money, but there's nothing to do with money. Money, it's just a reflection of the security, freedom, and power you have within. If I ever believe that money doesn't go in trees, I might miss a really easy opportunity to make money. Because I would say like, oh, that's too good to be true. That's probably a scam. Oh, like, I don't trust that. Right? Like I might, like if I have belief, I really need to work hard. One of the reasons why so many executive women, like they get promoted to a higher level and then they work even harder because they have this linear relationship. The more I make, the more I have to work. Even there is no work, they create work and take on work because I need to now justify why I'm making such a high salary. So when I work with executives, this is one, the most common that I have to, like, we break it, remold it, reshift it to where, like, I am being paid for the impact that I make, not for the amount of hours I work. And if I have a relationship that money, the more I make, the harder I have to work, I will subconsciously create that in my life. Again and again, like unless you literally like work through it and break through it, which is really uncomfortable. That's why like it's so powerful to have coaches and help you in this journey. I had my own coach that helped me. That's why it's such a beautiful work. Again, I can never afford this. We talked about that. Some people like, I hate talking about it. I avoid dealing with money. Right? And if I have this like aversion to dealing with money, guess what? What kind of energy I'm emanating? I'm like, ugh. If you on a date with somebody and you're like, ugh, I can't stand being next to this person, you're not gonna go to too many dates, right? Because they feel that energy. You don't need to say it. You can say like nice things. Oh, I really like you. Yeah, we should probably go out. You can feel energetically the same is if money is like something that I'm like, yeah, not really. You are emanating the energy of repulsion for money, right? And you are now in that frequency, like, I had this one. No one will pay me enough money for doing what I love. And I will never be able to replace what I've made and at a high salary. So, when I thought about it, I'm like, oh my God, really a lot of money that somebody would need to pay for just talking to people. right? So if I have that belief, until I had that belief, I wasn't able to make money. Once I bust through that, now I can actually like make exponentially more money for what I'm doing, the gift that I'm sharing. So I'll take a pause really quick, and I wanted to see what else come up for you. Anybody else had that come up that was surprising or shocking? Money is still used to control relationships. Yes, can you see that? If I had that history or this, and then I'm like, money is like, ooh, I have to make my own money, otherwise I'll be manipulated in the relationship, right? Or is there something that will always be like a tension point around a relationship? When in the reality, money is look beautiful in a relationship because that allows us to, now I'm making a shift and you take care of a family. Now you taking a shift, I will do it, right? Having two people taking care of abundance is a gift. Right? I always ask people, like, tell me about your relationship and where you are, because I'm not going to suggest one of the tactics depending where you are, right? But if you can, like, if it's could be a super beautiful tool, but not if it's a controlling mechanism, then it becomes a tension point, which each actually add to my beliefs around money. Can you see that? Beautiful. In my business, I feel like money is elusive. I don't control when it comes. Okay, beautiful. Kristen, I love it. Okay. What would be, so here's the next step. First is noticing. The way we start to shift is, first step is noticing my belief around money. Second is being kind to yourself. Because oftentimes then we notice and like, oh, I can't believe I'm doing this. Oh, like, this is terrible, right? So we start judging ourselves, and that energy is also a lower vibration. So first is noticing. Second, not judging. Third is finding a thought that feels in resonance with you. And what that means is not just blindly say an affirmation. That's why I don't really believe in affirmations that don't resonate. Because if I say like, oh, money feels elusive and I'm not in control, and then you're saying something that like, money comes from me from multiple sources, I'm abundant, and you don't feel resonance, it's too far, it doesn't mean anything. Because I have to feel it like, that's true, and it's a better feeling thought than I had before. Right? So maybe for Kristen, and this is like, if you brainstorm, be like, huh, you know what? I notice when I put effort, money comes more abundantly to me, right? I get to get better, or enable more and more money coming to me. Where are you, Kristen? Oh, here we go. Or yeah, oh, here we go. Found you. Can you see like, or something that feels like more aligned, that doesn't feel like a bigger jump, but better feeling thought than I currently have. Right? If money, if it's elusive, meaning it's like I don't have power and control, right? But if like I know when I am taking care of me or doing the things, like I am more receptive and more in alignment to create more. Can you see? Can you find a statement that would feel better than elusive? Would feel better, but it also would feel true. Yes, exactly, Midor. Our brain cells, BS, yes, be like, oh, BS, no, I'm not buying that. Good luck with that one, right? So you wanted to find, like Abraham Hicks talks about it a lot, find a better feeling thought, but not too far. If you think about the magnet, like magnet, if you are too far apart, there's no pull. So if you find like a magnet is just a little bit, it can pull you up a little bit. Then you find another better feeling one, it pulls you up, but it has to be close enough to where you are, it has a pull, an upwards trajectory for you. Does that make sense? Beautiful. Any other thoughts that showed up that you were surprised or be like, huh, I didn't realize I had that? Because I was really surprised when I was looking into how much I had when it came to about running my own business. I'm the only one I can trust around money. Yeah. Beautiful. Can you see when I have that belief, then I am always kind of worry about, like, I cannot trust this person is, I'm not sure. Like, I'm almost, can you see I'm holding the distance? And then there is inherent a little bit of a lack of like holding, like a little bit of a lack energy in there, like lack of trusting, right? And so what would be a better reframe that would feel aligned? I'm the only one I can trust around money.
It would probably be something like I have many people I can trust
Yeah.
to help me.
Actually it could be like, could be even, it could be even not about trust. It could be like, I would love some support around money.
Oh yeah.
Can you see it? How can you see like just that thought feels like better? And when you put like, can you see it's like opening? That one, that I'm the only one I can trust feels like I can't afford to hire somebody. And like, I would love a really aligned partner or somebody to support me in that. Can you feel like, can you feel how that's like an expansive, and then you're like, and then you're all of a sudden, your brain will start looking, I'm like, well, that person, are you helping them with this? And then you really like her helping you with this? Would you have more capacity? Would like to, all right, can we try it for this month? Can you see how your brain will bring? So can you see it could be like very subtle, but that means I'm closing off. And so money mindset, another way I want you to like imagine as if like I am a pipe of water. Money is water. There's always money available. It comes in. Sometimes it's flowing abundantly. Sometimes it's trickling. And the only one that's controlling is me. How much I'm open to receiving or closed. When my pipes are closed, I'm like, I'm super tight. It's not coming. But if I'm open and I'm trusting, I'm allowing, there is plenty of abundance coming. I put an intention earlier this month. I did this, like, it was like a full moon, something. I can't remember what it was, but I was like super moon. And I'm journaling how my best month, what would be the best month? To be like, if I could just have my sold out retreat. I'm hosting a retreat in Joshua Tree Park. And it's like, I was like, I'd love to have like a sold out retreat. And then I read somebody like write a post, I'm like, you should have it on this like top 50 destinations. And I was like super excited about it. And I read that. I'm like, I don't know. Is it a top? Joshua Tree's not in my top. I'm like, it should have been probably in Bali. And I started like, I could feel closing in. And I was like, and then I'm tinkering with the website. I'm like, not sharing it. Like my VA is like, where is it? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'll change the name. Like I could start feeling I'm closing it down. And then I was like in a good mood or something like that. I'm like, and I had this impulse. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to share with my clients first, then with my list, and then I'll offer to the public. And like it was Friday, and I sent out like 10 emails and said, I would love to have you in this, and here's what we're doing. And I thought you'd be great. And I sent 10 emails. Guess what? All 10 said yes. And I was like, that was amazing. But I sent it with that energy when I felt it. So I'm like, that's why I wasn't sending it, because I was feeling closed out, right? But when I felt, I'm like, oh my God. And the offer that I made, it wasn't like, I need you to come because I need you to cover my expenses. It wasn't that. Now I'm like, I just need to get a few people like it wasn't that. I was like, what an amazing experience. I would love to share it with her. I would love to share it. So that invitation was made with this energy of, let's come to my party, right? So can you see, and oftentimes when we're in a sales conversation or fundraising conversations, oftentimes when I work with the founders who are in fundraising, they're like nailing the whole conversation. They're like connecting, they're talking about their company, about their mission, about their team. And then it comes the last slide and they're like, I'm raising $2 million. And, if you are, able to, we'd love to, and there's this like pullback energy. Right? Because if I have some undeservability in there, some hesitation, something, then the person on the other side, they don't know what's going on, but they sense it. Something is just, people say like, I don't know, just something didn't quite feel right. What that didn't quite feel right is my words didn't match my vibration. When my words, and guess what? You feel it too. If somebody's words don't match their vibration, your vibration goes like, something doesn't feel right. Do you know that? That happens, right? So that's your intuitive compass. Your nervous system is picking up the vibration, and when it doesn't match, it goes like, didn't quite feel right. So that's why it's important to get super excited about your offer, your whatever you're bringing into the world. And if you have a pitch, contract negotiation, something, you gotta put yourself in the state, or notice if there's crap thoughts coming up and be like, yeah, that's my mom's. I don't need that one in this meeting, right? Like, you want it to shift it, because guess what? No matter what you're saying, what you're resonating and energetically will come out every single time. Right? So now I want you to think again about the result that you want that you don't yet have. That could be the sales for the month, the launch, landing an investor, your client, your highest month, your highest year. Think about the result. Write it down. I want you to be very specific. And now I want you to write down the action that you are not taking to generate, that's not generating that result. It's a little bit backwards. What is the action that I'm not taking? I'll give an example, maybe it's easier. When I started coaching, I was posting and blogging and doing this, and I'm like doing what I wasn't doing. I wasn't getting, and I was even getting on the call actually and talking with people, but what I wasn't doing, I wasn't inviting them to work with me. Right? Because there's somewhere I didn't want to say an amount of that I wanted, like that I was charging, because I felt like, what if they can't afford it? Mine, I can't afford it, was impacting. So that, and therefore I was kind of avoiding it. I'd be like, oh yeah, well, if you have a one or the other, just give me a call, or like whatever. It was just very not right, versus saying, you know what, here's the things that is happening, and I see you, and I would love to support you. Would you love to hear how I work with people? Yes. Okay, awesome. Here, and this is the investment with how much it costs to work with me, and you can pay monthly or at once. What's coming up for you as I share this? Can you see it's like a very different energy? And I wasn't doing it. I was kind of avoiding it. So this is, I want you to ask, what's the action that I'm avoiding? Because I could be making a lot of action. Most of us are, that are making motion, but not traction. So what's action that I'm not making that I know will generate traction? And so now I want you to think a belief. Why am I not taking that action? What's the belief? What's the belief why I'm not taking that action? Maybe I think they'll say no. Maybe I think they can afford it. Maybe I'm not ready yet. Maybe I'm not experienced enough. Maybe I need to get to whatever the next. My website is not pretty enough. I haven't raised enough, or whatever it is. What is the belief underneath that's causing me not to take the action that I know is now therefore contributing to not generating that result? Too complicated. Where are you? Linnea. Beautiful. So share me, what's the result that you'd love?
Oh, to just regularly be bringing in at least 10K a month.
Okay, beautiful. I'd love 10K a month. What action I'm not taking that would help to do it?
Me, Dory totally nailed it already. Like regularly reaching out to the size of companies that I want to actually work with.
Yes, yes. And what's the belief that's preventing me to
It's
actually
so
regularly.
complicated. It's so hard. It's just so hard and complicated. I have to find them. I have to figure out who they
Yes,
but
yes.
all the stuff.
Yes, can you
Never
say, oh, I thought you're saying too complicated. I'm like, oh, my questions are too complicated.
Oh, no, I'm not too
Yes.
complicated. The process is so
That's what I So
As if I
beautiful.
didn't
Can
have
you
to
see
still
it?
break it down.
Yes. Too complicated.
Too much.
I can't do it. So then can you see, like, I'm like, well, I have a good reason why I'm not reaching out. And I feel good about it because it's a good reason, right? I'm not reaching out and keep wishing that I'll have it, right? So, okay, what's a better thought? What is the better, more aligned thought that will help you to generate those 10K a month, like easily? Maybe I'm making it complicated.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
too complicated. It's like, I am making it complicated. I'm just
Or
going to reach out to one company a day.
I figured this out. Like I break it down. I know what to do.
Yeah, I know what to do. Or just
Yeah.
simply make a process that is super easy and achievable. You know what? I'm going to make one outreach a day. Not 7, not 10, because that is complicated. I'm just going to do one a day. I'm just going to reach out one a day. I'm going to take 20 minutes. I'm going to look at LinkedIn, whatever. I'm going to sort them based on the size or whatever. I'm just going to take one outreach a day. The one just intuitively feel right. Can you see that? How I can simplify it, but I like first one, I'm making it too complicated. I'll just reach out. So now I want everybody to think about one action that scares the shit out of you, that you know will generate the results that you desire. What's that action? Write it down. Linnea is already, I'm going to reach out to these companies. And now ask yourself, am I willing to do it? Because if I'm not willing to do it, then that's okay. Then you're like, well, I know what I need to do. I'm not willing to do it. Then you're like at least honest and straight with yourself, right? So if you're like, am I willing to do it? And if I'm willing to do it, by when? Write it down. By when? Friday? By Friday. I would keep it shorter, you know. My daughter's taking this like terrible antibiotic, it takes awful. And she's like, oh, I'm so gonna be so bad. It's like 30 minutes. And I'm like, just take it. You're making it so painful. Like, that's how it is with this thing. Like, make it the first thing in the morning. Done. Already did my outreach. Oh, I can tinker on my content. Do all the other things that like allow me to hide from stuff and doesn't need to do it, right? Like, do the hard thing first thing and just make a decision. Because that's how we break through. The only way we break through the limiting beliefs is when we continue make a decision. Is I don't feel awesome telling that it works, that it's thousands of dollars to work with me, but I'm going to do it until it feels fun. I'm going to do it until it feels fun. Who can I practice on? And I did it, and I did it until it feels fun. And I'm like, I love it. And people like, I'm like, oh, yeah, where did I send the money? I'm like, here it is the link. So what is one action? I would love for each and every single one of you walk away. What is one action? Drop in the chat. Because you're walking away with one action that's going to make meaningful impact in your business because you're committing that you're going to do it. It doesn't have to be like this massive action that's unachievable. One step. Linnea is going to reach out to one company, one today and one tomorrow. I just signed you up. You'd never actually agreed to do that. You feel aligned. No response from Linnea. Yes, add one outreach a day. Right. Here we go. I don't reach out to potential clients. I hire a marketer who does it for me. Val. Okay, it's working? You like it? If it's working, you have a system that's working, great. Funny thing, I also have my VA, when she reach out, it doesn't make the same impact that I do. Because when I put my energy in it, I receive different results. So notice if it's working, this is my action now. Okay, not yet. Okay, beautiful. But notice it's easier once you have a well-oiled machine, you can outsource certain things to yours. But at the beginning, when you're just launching, your energy, people will want to work with you because your energy. And that energy is felt in the communication, in the outreach, in the text message, in the voice note, in the phone call. And I would say your first $1 million will come from the people you know. So pick up that phone, text it, note it, like it's not even words, I meant message. But you and your units and your uniqueness and your vibrational frequency will go through. So with that, everybody has an inspired action that you're walking away. Beautiful. And do you feel like this information, this will support you in breaking through the clogged up pipes that are not letting all of that abundance flowing into your reality? So thank you so much. I will share a link if some of you would love to book a strategy session with me. I'm offering a gift of the people who are here present on this call. If you'd like to break through anything or work through individual clogs and things, like that's my gift from you and to this beautiful community that Medora and Shelly created. So if that feels aligned, I'll drop a link while Medora is closing out. Thank you so much for being here today, and please connect on Instagram, and I can't wait to see you thriving and receiving all the abundance in the next year and years to come. So thank you so much for being here.
Rasa, that was awesome. I think every single woman who is here has their brain, woman and man. Ed, I'm so sorry. He is fabulous for those of you who don't know Ed yet, but all of us have something turned on in our head, kind of a shift. And I'm seeing in the comments some actions that we have in our pocket that we're going to go execute on. So thank you so much. So much, like you said, I 100% believe 80% of it is right here. And the beauty of that is we have control of our brain. So thank you so much, Rasa. This was amazing. Rasa did post the link, so I encourage you to take advantage of that. If for some reason you lose that link, we will be including, in fact, I'm going to copy it right now. We're going to be including this in our newsletter. So be on the lookout for that. Rasa, thank you so much. This was amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. May you all be thriving and keep sharing that beautiful light of yours. Thank you so much for having me.
Take care, everyone.